Guys, check this out, check this out. It's so beautiful. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it, guys. When the AKKO Model Air 1 was presented to me in an email, I was like, it seems like a good keyboard, but it's probably not a run-of-the-mill keyboard. Nonetheless, I was intrigued, so I'm like, send it over. But the minute this thing hit my desk, it instantly went from a keyboard I barely knew that existed to one of my top 3 favorite keyboards in 2026. It is one of the finest low-profile keyboards I've tried out, and it just kind of came out of nowhere, if I'm being dead honest. With that said, of course, we're gonna go through all the nooks and crannies and every little, detail with this keyboard to show you exactly what it's about, why I so strongly believe that this is one of the most underrated and underhyped keyboards out there, and why it might be the right one for you, and of course anything you might want to watch out for as well. And believe me, guys, this is a pretty awesome story of that low profile keyboard that came from a humble town and pretty much just took everyone by surprise. So let's get into it. As far as packaging goes, the Air 01 pretty much comes in a standard looking low profile box that screams the product you've gotten with a nice visual image. When you open up the box, inside there's a ton of protective packaging here, mostly for a dramatic effect. But anyway, once you remove all that, here it is, the Air 1 in the flesh. And this keyboard gives me a good kind of deja vu, but more on that later on. You do also get an instruction guide. Do not throw this out, guys. It's a rookie mistake. It has all the hotkeys and customizable options on it, which you will refer to eventually. And then you have a accessory box. Inside here, you have all the usual stuff. You've got the key switching tool. You've got the key swapper or the switch swapper. You'll also get a couple of spare keycaps for Windows. You have the USB dongles and whatnot. Let's talk about the design. So you do have a standard 75% format or layout over here, but what makes this keyboard truly special is that it has a full metal body at this price point, which means it's aluminum from top to bottom. However, what makes it more interesting and intriguing, honestly, is just how light this keyboard is for a full metal keyboard. In fact, this is one of the lightest full metal keyboards I've pretty much rocked around, which is great for portability, but it does beckon the question, how? Or are the others just too heavy? Regardless, the point is, it's got a very crisp and clean design, and it looks very familiar. It's kind of like a low-free Flow 2 without the metal tumor sticking out, and I think a lot of people are gonna absolutely fall in love with this keyboard just on that merit alone. Now, on the back side, again, a clean metallic finish. I really like it. What I do not like, however, is that we do not have built-in height raisers, which means the angle this keyboard comes at is the angle you're stuck with. It would have been nice to have that, though it's not necessarily a deal breaker for most people, I'd imagine. What's super nice is they actually give physical switches to go between Windows and Mac, as well as switch between the various tri-mode connectivity modes, so between wired, wireless, and Bluetooth mode. And that, by the way, is super useful. The only thing that could have added was a slot for the USB-A dongle. I don't know why companies don't think about this. It would have been nice to have, but nonetheless, a pretty nice layout overall. Coming back to the front side, like I said, you do have a 75% layout over here, so you do get the function key included. It's worth noting you do have RGB lighting built in, and yes, of course, it's entirely customizable via the keyboard itself through the hotkeys. And it's also worth noting that the LED indicator over here is also customizable, and of course, it serves as a battery indicator as well. The keyboard, of course, is completely hot swappable, which means you can remove the individual keycaps, but go a step further and also remove these switches themselves, and you can replace them with other compatible low-profile Kailh switches, of course. As far as the actual keycap itself is concerned, as you can see, it is PBT dyed, which means it has a good degree of moisture and oil resistant, and it gets that slight grainy texture you get with those kind of keycaps. I really like it overall. Now, coming over to the switch, this right here is the Kailh Cloud switch. It's essentially a linear switch. The Cloud might make you feel like it's going to be a very airy and quiet switch, but that's actually not really the case. It's basically right on the edge of a linear switch, almost going into tactile territory. It has a good amount of key travel, great feedback, and a good amount of response, and a very strong pushback as well. The typing experience is where I really fell in love with this keyboard. There's a few things going on over here. It has a very similar keystroke style to the low-free Flow 2. So you get that very precise key tap, unlike the Newfie Air V3, for example, where it's a more hollow sounding effect. Over here, it sounds way more contained. The gasket mount here and the damping is top notch, which again is impressive given how light this keyboard is. However, unlike the Flow 2, the Air 1 over here has a much more weighted spring-like feel. So when you actually press down, you feel a greater degree of resistance, and the pushback or the bounce back is a lot slower. At least it feels that way. The result is that you get a lot more sensation per keystroke. However, some people may not prefer that and like a more airy feel. Over here, it's a more heavier feel. I really like it because you get to kind of maintain that linear feel while also giving a fantastic amount of feedback per keystroke. But of course, talk is cheap. Here's a quick sound test, and I've also included some others for quick comparison. This keyboard does come standard with tri-mode connectivity, which means you've got 3 distinct Bluetooth profiles. With version 5.0, you have a 2.4 gigahertz connection via the USB-A dongle, and of course you do also have the ability to use it in wired mode. Now, interestingly enough, you get a large 4,500 milliamp hour battery, which is one of the largest I've reviewed on a low profile keyboard. AKKO doesn't actually provide runtime figures, but put it this way, I've been using this keyboard for just about 2 weeks and I have had no need to recharge it yet. And I estimate that this thing will last probably about a month to a month and a half with RGB lighting off, so you can expect some pretty reasonably long runtimes. Now, for those of you who were kind of holding your breath for native VIA or QMK support, unfortunately that does not come over here. However, in all fairness, AKKO does have their own web driver. I believe it's called the AKKO Cloud software, so you don't have to install anything and you can customize the keyboard directly from there. Let's do a reality check over here, guys. This keyboard has a MSRP of $100 or 99 USD basically, and the next closest rival to this keyboard, in my honest opinion, is the Low Free Flow 2, which has a price tag of about $170 on normal pricing. However, you virtually get all the features you get the Low Free Flow 2. However, you don't have that piece of metal sticking out. You get that same high quality metal design. The typing experience is eerily similar. However, it does refine in certain ways. It provides a more heavier feel, which some people might really like. Also, just like the Newfie Air 75 V3, you get physical switches, but that keyboard is also $40 more expensive, and you do get tri-mode connectivity, and you get the largest battery life of the bunch at 4,500 milliamp hours. The only thing really that might hold you back from using this keyboard is the lack of QMK VIA support and the height adjusters. I don't think these are deal breakers for most people, but if you can look past these, this is genuinely one of the most value-packed keyboards. At $100, getting a full metal body with some of the finest Kailh switches out there, a long battery life, a top-tier connection option, are just things that are very rare in the sub-100 price, especially these days. So yeah, I can wholeheartedly recommend the AKKO Air 1. It's a fantastic keyboard, and believe it or not, it's one I plan to actually daily drive for the foreseeable future. I'm gonna have links in the video description below for your convenience, so make sure you check those out. And as always, if you enjoyed the content, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to our channel.